All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. We're doing it with Brick Wagner, everybody.
Come on, man.
I mean, Brock Wagner, everybody. Brock
Could be
Wagner.
worse. Could be broccoli, which is still funny to some people. I kid around. I tell
Lee
people,
Wagner.
yeah. I do like to tell people that my middle name is Lee, and and then just wait for the brain synapse just to fire like, oh.
That's funny,
So,
dude.
yeah.
Well, welcome, Brock Wagner.
Man, thanks for having me.
I'm excited to have you. I'm wondering if my audio is going to catch up to my video. It's kind of throwing me off a little bit, but I'm going to run with it. So, am I way behind on the video?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if it picks up. When Rob gets in, I may bounce out and bounce back in and just see what we can do. People can hear it, so I think that's. Oh no, we're catching back up.
Yeah, you're catching back up now.
Yep. We're getting close. So I think part of it is we're breaking the internet because everybody wants to be on this one with you, dude.
I think.
I mean, I think personally people will dig it. Like, that's why I wanted you on here. There's a couple different reasons. I mean, the biggest is you're one of the main reasons we're even able to do this. And I want everybody to understand that. Josh says it's the third more handsome Drew brother.
No, that's the best compliment I've gotten all day for sure.
Nice. Well, on that note, it's a perfect segue to bring in the better Drew brother. Woo! And that is...
Hey there.
The man.
Hello.
Rob.
Hey, I just want to say that the internet does not give any perspective to what a large man Brock is.
Yeah, it's true. I'm so... It's by design that I'm in this gigantic room, right? And not in a closet.
Yeah. No, you're out of the closet, definitely.
Yeah. Hey, come on now. Yeah, well played.
Give us your specs, Brock. Give us your geo numbers.
6'4", 6'4", size 14 shoes, 15 in some shoes. Huge mitts.
Yes.
Large mittens.
Fluctuate. Like, so when you're this big, it's easy to fluctuate between, 10 pounds in a couple of days, right? So Nicole always gets so upset whenever we go on a diet or something. I chunk off 15 pounds in a week or something. She gets so pissed, because I literally weigh 120 pounds more than my wife. So
that's pretty funny, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's good. Well, we got some people in. Robert, what's up, dude? San Diego, our man Hariz,
San Diego.
DF Dub. We got some people from the cold Northeast. It's pretty damn cold here. I'm sure Brock's similar. It was, I think it felt like -3 this morning. Our man Pat Hoffman from Minneapolis. What's up, Pat? I think, Pat, don't quote me on this, dude, but I think we have our Minneapolis Ride Series date locked down. And it's June. I'm just looking here in the schedule. Looks like June 11th, 12th. So we're not going to completely confirm that, but we are very close. Cody, oh yeah, Sasquatch Wagner. That's for sure.
I'll take that.
Kurt Larson, what's up? South Florida. I love it. Hot there. Of course it is. And this is a great one, dude. You'll appreciate that. Mr. Ryan Paloma. Brock, how fun is it finding size 14 cycling shoes?
It's the worst. It's actually gotten better though. A few years ago it was a nightmare, but actually now I think generally people's feet are getting bigger. I don't know. There seems to be more options now.
Well, I think there's more
in the house.
There's more giant people like you riding bikes,
yeah.
So
yeah.
it makes sense.
Yeah.
So
all those milk hormones.
Yeah, it's definitely those milk hormones. So, man, where are we going to start? This has been a cool day, I got to tell you. I made a post on the gram talking about being part. Oh, Rob's representing with his Fezzari hoodie. I tried
team issue Fezzari hoodie.
Yeah, I tried to play my role, I guess, as well as I could in the launch of that bike. And, it's an interesting thing because I'm not a factory Fezzari rider. I'm not a traditional ambassador, because I won't say I'm not an ambassador for Fezzari, because I hope I am. I try to be. So it was pretty cool because it was fairly organic the way it developed. They talked about this new signal peak they had coming, and they said, our idea for the launch video is to try to do something that showcases that pure cross-country race capability, but also something that shows trail capability. And what they said was, we're going to try to make it happen. We're going to try to bring a bike out to Bentonville for Outer Bike and have you guys get the content we're after. And it just worked out, man. Like, everything worked out. The weather was great. The colors on the trail looked great. And I smashed that bike. Like, I don't want to say I went for broke, but I just kept putting the screws to it more and more. And it was funny because Brock, he wasn't questioning me, but he was like, are you sure you want to ride the bike that hard? And I said, dude, all they said was to highlight capability. And I tried to highlight capability. And, to kind of get into some of what I want to talk about, part of why I enjoy doing those things so much is because of you, Brock. It's the working relationship we have is awesome, but I, in those moments, feed off you. And when I see that genuine excitement when I come back, that only prompts me to just do more, and try to, I don't know, man, like just try to step it up a little bit, because I know you're going to get the shot, and I know what it means now when I come back and you just shake your head and you're excited. I know what that end result's going to be. And dude, all those videos that they made, like that one shot coming out of the turn with the rocks coming off the berm.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a good shot.
Dude, that was a great
one.
Great shot. And I have to give some major props to the in-house editing team at Fezzari.
Yeah,
Dude,
which was funny because
killed.
because when I had released that footage to them, or sent the footage to them, I hadn't seen anything, drop down to 24 frames per second from the 120 frames that it was recorded at, right? So I didn't know that shot was that good. I just kind of reviewed everything and then like sent it. And when I saw it, I'm like, yes, so good.
Well, it was funny too, because I know you were very excited, but at the same time, that was a lot of pressure. Like, when we were going into that, we had a couple calls, we had a couple meetings. They were very specific about what they wanted. And there was some pressure on us to capture it. We didn't have a ton of time. We had 6 hours with the bike. So we were under the gun, dude, and we had to shoot all that video, and then we had to shoot some stills. Yeah. And for people who don't really understand how it works, it's usually Brock and I. This year we're going to bring in more people, extra cameras to shoot, but a lot of times it's just Brock and I. So Brock has to use those big giant hands to hold the gimbal in one hand and carry the sticks in another. And so I got to go back and again, we got to get double shots. We got to get the gimbal shots. We have to get the stick shots.
For those who are not adept in video production, can you elaborate on the sticks, Rich?
Well, the sticks, it's basically a tripod. Us in the know, we call it the sticks. And so those really cool long shots are usually done with the tripod, but those shots that are up tight with the super wide angle panning, that's usually the gimbal. And those are kind of the go-to setups, the go-to rigs that we normally use. And it's a lot. Like, it's not small stuff. It's a lot less than Brock brought out that first time at Fitzgerald.
Oh, that's a good story. I almost died that day from heat exhaustion.
We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that.
That was rough, man. We needed a serious caravan for that.
I have a note here to talk about that, so we'll get to that. But what
are you sipping on? What are you sipping on, there, buddy? Brock, for our alcoholic viewers.
Oh, it's just it's I feel bad. It's no Jason Blodgett level stuff, but it's just Jameson, just Jameson on the rocks.
Jameson on the rocks, man.
Yeah.
That's Brock. No frills, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about Mr. Blodgett's setup earlier. Like that
Yeah.
was next level.
Whiskey
Yeah, it
Row.
was. Yeah.
It's not whiskey. That was bourbon.
Oh, bourbon. Okay. It's all the
There's-
same to me. Fire
Yeah,
water.
there was just saw that bottle of Blanton's in there, and that's like crazy expensive, hard to find. I think he had like 19 of them or something sitting on his.
Yeah. Well, I was saying to Brock, I think Jason Blodgett is a man who can get things that are expensive and hard to find.
He's a man of exquisite taste.
He is. He is. Exquisite taste and exquisite good looks
Yeah.
and exquisite writing. So,
Yeah.
Brock, are you happy with all of that footage?
The signal or the
Everything. Yeah, everything was Signal
yeah.
Peak, dude.
Yeah, no, it was not very often do I shoot something and hand it off to somebody else and let them edit, and they killed it. It was really good. Yeah. So
yeah, that 1 minute 40-second edit where it's just that really
time with the music, that was really awesome.
God,
yeah,
dude.
so good.
I've watched that so many times.
Which is funny, is because that song they used for that is the very first when Colton and I came down and shot the Arkansas Enduro series at Leatherwood.
Yeah.
That was the edit that we made. We used that song like 4 years ago, whatever it was.
That's crazy, dude. I was listening to it and I'm like, I swear I've heard this song before.
Yeah. Yep.
Dude, that's rad.
Yeah.
What'd you think, Rob?
I thought it was great. I thought they hit a home run. You know, not just with the video stuff, but with the bike.
Okay, so let's get into that a little bit.
I'm excited about it.
What's your initial take on it? Obviously, you haven't had a chance to ride it yet. We're hoping to be able to alleviate that soon. But what's your initial impression?
Well, I'm thankful that we got to at least put our hands on it at Sedona, even though, you know, I didn't get to ride it. But I think that the light trail version is what I'd like to have. I'm hoping. I was going to jump on. I was on their live this afternoon, and I was going to jump in and ask Tyler if the 120 version is the one that comes with the RockShox stuff on it, because I'd love to have that SID.
Yeah, I just looked on the website, and all trail versions come RockShox.
Cool.
Yeah,
that's exciting.
Yeah, and I didn't know that was the case because the bike I was on had all Fox stuff, which not complaining at all. I thought it was great.
Yeah, well, when I was watching the video and you and I talked about it when you wrote it, I don't remember you saying anything derogatory about the capability of the bike, but you know, the Izzo with the 34 just seems really the Izzo is just, it overmatches that fork in my opinion. So I'm surprised that you were able to push it so hard on the signal without any issues.
Well, let's ask Brock. Brock, you were there for both. In your opinion, do you think I rode one harder than the other, being Izzo or Signal Peak?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you were feeling that day, but you definitely rode the Signal Peak a lot harder.
Oh,
yeah, it was. There were several times in watching the footage, you know, and like trimming stuff down to where I was like, damn, because you were just like blow by me. And it was just a little bit faster. You were riding a little bit. I don't know. Like I said, you might have been riding, feeling better that day. I think when we did the Izzy, I'm trying to remember if it was first or it was before. No, it was after. It was after. It was after.
Yeah, the Izzo was well after, and
that was the day after you stacked yourself up on the Raw for the Enduro or the Evo.
Yeah, that could have played into it, but
you were a little down in the dumps when that day started, and then it got better and better and better. But you rode the Signal Peak super hard. It was like, you know, the Sony's got great autofocus, but you were testing it pretty good that day.
Nice.
Of the footage that I watched of those three bikes, it looked like you were going the quickest on the Signal to me.
I think I was, and
yeah, from like the transfers, like corner to corner transfers, it looked much quicker and to me than.
You know, what's funny is a lot of times I get, you know, the ins and outs, a lot of what Rich does when we're filming, and I can't tell you how many times like best bike ever, like this is the best bike ever. And you really went on and on that day about how that thing was just a rocket ship.
Yeah, it was funny. I didn't expect to feel that way. And I think I even said that to you, Brock, when we started. Something along the lines of, I'm not too, like, don't expect a whole lot here. Like, don't expect me to ride this bike hard, because the thing is incredibly light, frighteningly light. And this fork is probably going to break like a toothpick.
Yeah.
And
you got more and more impressed as the day went on, I think. If I remember right.
Yeah, I just, the more I wrote it, the more I acclimated to it. And Rob, I think part of what you said was that bike just resonates with me. And the amount of times I've said that today on social media has just been crazy. Like, the number of people who have been asking, it's old school compared to the current geometry of bikes. It's not long, low, or slack, in my opinion, but it's right. It works really, really well. And I think it does what it's intended to do. And it does it well. And it was funny because when we made the first impression, which, by the way, I had somebody make a comment, and it was kind of funny. He made it on my reel, and he goes, "Hey man, I love you, dude. You do rad stuff, but like, something along the lines of, it's hard to believe this, hashtag sponsored ad." And I kind of laughed, and I responded to the dude, and I said, actually, it's not. We got paid to make footage for the launch video. That was the deal. And we decided to make the first impression. And the first impression was what I felt about the bike. And I told this guy straight up, I'm like, dude, I don't make any qualms about it. My brand agnostic deal is such that if I didn't feel that way about the bike, I just wouldn't say it.
Yeah, if I hate the bike, I won't do a first impression.
Exactly.
You won't know my impression.
Yeah, and I've said that many times. If you see me on a bike, like if you saw me and realized it was me in the launch video, and I don't do a first impression or a review, maybe read between the lines. I wouldn't say those things if I didn't feel that way. And when we shot it, the first thing that came to mind was, I feel like I feel about the Spur. Like, that's how I feel about this bike. It's something that I just get on it, and it's just rad. Like, it just feels good. It speaks to me and my lineage as a rider, and it does everything I want it to do, and it does it well. And I don't know that everybody will have that experience on that bike.
All the stuff we were talking about, all the Instagram comments about the Fezzari in-house, the factory team guys riding the Delano, and the people kind of ripping on that. It made me kind of chuckle, because obviously we have the bike, we ride the bike, and we take the bike in deep water because it will go there very willingly. And to see that kind of criticism from people that haven't ridden the bike, it just makes me sad. Yeah,
and that's the internet, bro. Welcome to the internet. One of the things Hariz pointed out, and this will be cool for you, Brock, because there's a big difference in the rear triangle of the Signal Peak compared to the other downcountry bikes. Rob, what is that difference?
Yeah, it's the flex stays.
Yeah, it doesn't have flex stays. It has a 4-bar rear end. So did you notice that, Brock?
Yep.
Yeah, so that I think was one of the elements that helped me feel as comfortable in that scenario. So like riding the Spur or the Epic Evo through that trail, it's really skittish, I think is the best way to describe it. I can ride it, but it's a lot more effort on my part to get it from turn to turn, because I can't set into the turn to get out of the turn. Does that make sense? Rob?
Who are you asking me?
I'm asking you, Rob. Yeah.
No, well, we were talking about that before when I was recapping my conversation with Daniel about how if you build a bike that's an on-kill cross-country bike, it's not going to be comfortable getting hucked around from place to place. You're going to have to be on point and hit your marks, or else the bike is going to get upset with you and probably make you pay a price. But it looked like the Signal was down to clown, so to speak.
I like that term. We're going to have to use that one moving forward. It was, man. It rode great. And Hariz brings up a good point, dude. I'll ride the wheels off a 120, 130 bike. And part of it, Hariz, I think, is to showcase that capability. You know, whether it's a good bike or not, I don't generally go there. I talk about how much I like the bike, but in this case, dude, I've rode the hell out of that bike. And that was what I wanted to resonate, because they straight up said, dude, we just want you to show capability. Like, all right, you want capability? Damn it, you'll get capability come hell or high water, or broken frame or wheels. And none of that happened.
What wheels did it have, by the way?
When I rode it, we put the Delano wheels on it. So the M820s. Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude. When I got the bike, it had some snarly light XC wheels. I mean, Brock, you picked one of them up after I took it off the bike.
Yeah, just dumb.
Dude, it wouldn't even be a paperweight. Like, it was common.
So did you have 2 5s and cush cores on that thing then, when you were riding it?
I did.
Nice. Yeah. So that'll make a huge difference, I think.
Oh, dude, yeah, that's a massive difference. But dude, it was still light. But that's what I would do to the bike, plain and simple. Yeah. And that's not something that's out of the realm of reason.
Yeah, now, well, that's a bike. It would make sense to have 2 wheel sets for it.
Dude, I would have 2 wheel sets and 2 stems, and I'd be set, dude. I'd run a 60 mil, possibly a 70 for XC stuff, and then the enduro type wheel set, I'll call it. But yeah, I dig it. I really like that bike. I'm very excited. The whole thing has been really cool, because you talked to Tyler enough to know how excited he is about that bike.
Yeah, he's very passionate about that bike.
He's super passionate about all of them, but this one, I think, more so than most, just because they've had so much time, so many resources in it.
Yeah, he talks about this one like it's his child, though.
Dude, he does. And that's, I think, part of what I appreciate about them as a company. It's just rad.
Yeah.
You know, you have that relationship with them, and I've tried to get that across. That was one of the things I was trying to do today when I posted, like, my relationship with that company, now our relationship with that company. I really appreciate it because of the way it's developed and because of how awesome they are. Like, for them to genuinely, I can't tell you how many times they came back and said, dude, thank you guys. Like, the footage you got, like how you made that bike look was just rad. Like, they were editing it, and when they were showing the engineers and all those people, they're just like, whoa, look at that, man. That's what our bike can do. And that's awesome. That's awesome, that's not something you get. Now, how do we do that, Brock? Cody wants to know, what's the hardest part of capturing these shots? So let's kind of give some insight into the mind of Brock Wagner.
Man, you're working hard. You're really working hard. I might just change it. I might just get ahead of you and just change it, like, legally. The hardest part, man, I think there's a couple of different things. Like, so geographically, it's tough because you're, like, in this canopy, like where Rob's at. It's amazing, like orange, you know, everything's beautiful red, and then you got this bright, you know, Santa Fe style blue sky, and it's like that all day. So
all year.
in Arkansas in the summertime, you got these just beams of hot white light shooting through the trees, and you got dark and light. So the toughest part is probably exposure on stuff, going from, you know, say there's a berm that he's running through, but he's coming out of a canopy of trees, and you're exposed for the berm to where it looks good, but it's just coming out of a black hole because you can't really change exposure when he's coming 40 miles an hour into a berm. So, you know, that's why we always try, you know, an overcast day is just like perfect, or super early morning when the sun's not just white hot. And it's actually better in the wintertime because of that. There's no leaves, but it's kind of ugly and barren out there.
It looks like Jack Skellington's backyard. It's just everything is dead.
Yeah,
it's like
it reminds
me of like a cemetery.
Yeah, that's why the Izzo raw wasn't as good as the Signal Peak raw, because it was just
the colors play a huge factor. And when the colors are there, when it's the right time of the year, that place looks super cool. But the winter, it just doesn't convey.
Yeah,
that's the toughest part. And the blooper reel, oh my god, I could do a blooper reel for like hours.
Okay, wait a minute though.
R-rated. No crashes.
Okay, there we go. Let's bring in some context here because margin 11. There could be a blooper reel, but I think now I want to kind of give some context. When we shoot these, it's very guerrilla style. It's getting better, but we don't have a big crew. We don't have a ton of time.
Done it out of script most times.
Yes, small crew on this one. Small crew.
Low key deal.
We generally don't have a script by design because I don't want this stuff to be scripted. I want it to be kind of natural and organic. We have an outline and we have a shot list sometimes, but we just roll. And a lot of times, dude, it's one and done. Am I right, Brock?
Yeah, especially on like the talking head stuff. That's like, you know, been doing video for 15 plus years, and that's the worst when you get somebody in front of the camera and they're just like I would do in front of the camera. It's just a nightmare. And luckily, exactly. You're good at it, man. You nail it, and it makes my job so easy, you know, to do that part. And again, on the writing stuff's usually one shot too. If more times than not, it's not me telling you to do it again. It's you wanting to do it again because you want to do it better, faster. So
yeah, I think that's always the funniest to me is I come through and I just go, nope, no way, dude, that didn't look cool. And you go, it looked cool to me. Do you want to see it?
Which, my biggest complaint, and I don't think I've told you this yet. I think I complained to when we reshoot something and it's something tiny, something small, like just like a berm or whatever, and we're gonna do it again. Rich will ride all the way like I don't know, a quarter mile back up the trail so he can go as fast as humanly possible into the berm. And I'm just sitting there like waiting to hit record.
So. Dude, if you're referencing the Stump Jumper Evo, I have a feeling that's what you're referencing.
Yeah.
Brock, I'm trying to double things that most people would never see.
I'm going to stick up for Rich also and say that sometimes there's a rhythm that develops way back up the trail. And if you try to do, one section without leading into it, it just doesn't work. You can't come from the place you want to be without the setup that is required previous to where you're shooting for.
So take that, Brock.
I get it. But you're also not holding a 15-pound gimbal in one hand, standing on an incline like this.
That's why you got that bad golf elbow or tennis elbow.
Yeah. No, it's gone. It's gone. Knock on wood.
It's gone. You got it.
Yeah. I'm healed.
So let's kind of take it way back here and talk a little bit about how we met, dude. What were the origins of this beautiful relationship?
Okay, I do remember this. So it was I had just gotten into I just bought a mountain bike. I bought a mountain bike and I was getting out of I was a road guy, right? And got into it, and I was also a video director at a firm, and I wanted to move out, go on my own, and start doing video. And I'm like, well, just go to Bentonville and I'll just do a spec video of the whole scene down there. And I think it was Amy Ross I had reached out to. She was a bike Bentonville at the time, and brought your name up. And no, I take that back. It was Jared Sorrells that brought your name up. He was actually my wedding photographer.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah. And I didn't know that he even rode at the time. And I just stumbled across him on Instagram. Anyways, he brought your name up, and I think I just reached out to you, and I was going to do this spec video of, just a day in the life of Bentonville type thing, or why Bentonville is awesome. And met with you at Snack Lab.
That's right.
And that it kind of all fell through. And then I don't remember what the transition was into. I think we came down to shoot one of the Arkansas and no, you had the stuff with the kids, the yard stuff. And we shot a little spec video on that. And then one thing
we did that, the Arkansas Enduro series. Yeah. And then I really wish I remember exactly how it happened, but you brought up the old YouTube and you said, dude, you should do YouTube videos. And I told you, I know Seth's bike hacks, dude. I don't know really anything else. And man, from there, it just kind of happened. Do you remember any of the first ones that we shot?
For
the YouTube, like the how-to
specifically stuff. For YouTube? I don't remember what the first one was. I think it was
the how-to drops was very a big heat builder. Very
Yeah.
controversial.
Yeah, the drops one was, that was one that was, whew.
It was either that or the jumps.
The
It
jumps,
was-
we did jumps, drops, and lifts were the first.
Yeah.
And then I think things got real when we did the updated drops
So the
video.
drops. Yeah. People were
And
very
I think that's when we hit our stride, dude, because I saw that one recently and it was on trail, you know, I was in my element and I was just so fired up. And I remember telling you, look, dude, this is how I want to do it. When I started acting, if you will, when I said, dude, I want to pretend like this won't work. So you're going to be shooting, but I'm going to pretend like I don't know you're shooting.
Yeah.
And I remember doing it thinking, this is going to be really funny. Like I'm going to like this because it's going to be a real slap in the face to people who are just talking shit about it. And I remembered when you showed it to me, it was great. And you know what else that was? I bet you don't remember this, Brock. That was the first ever appearance of Peace Out, Dumpers.
Yeah, it was. You're right.
It was. So I'm going to let everybody know right now where that came from.
Oh, the big
Can you
reveal.
believe this, dude? This is a big deal. We've never talked about this, Rob.
Yeah.
Are you ready for this?
I thought we did talk about it. No,
we might have.
You must have told it to. Oh, maybe it was a segment.
Oh, I did. Yeah. I think I did tell it to him, and he was just. Mark was like, because he really didn't even know anything about it. It's like why would people say that? So we did that whole thing, and at the end, I'm positioned under drop the hammer, and we were trying to time it with some kids who were riding to get them to drop. And you know, I'm trying to wrap it up, and at the end, I didn't think it worked. I'm like, this take is stupid, and so I'll just throw out this Peace Out, Dumpers. And Brock, we finished, and Brock hit stop on the record button and starts laughing. He's like, "What the hell was that?" And I'm like, "Don't worry about it, dude. Let's shoot it again." And we shoot it again. I get the finished product from Brock, and sure enough, dude, at the end, I go, "Peace Out, Dumpers." And I told him, Brock, dude, you can't leave that there. Like, I didn't mean for that. That's an outtake, dude. You can't use that. And he goes, "No, man. I have a feeling it's going to be a thing, dude. Like, it's going to be a thing."
Yeah.
And people loved it, dude. Like, it's one of those things. It took on a life of its own. So
I wish you would have used the dumper scale like we talked about.
You know how bad I wanted to do like an outtake or like a segment from Fast Times at Ridgemont High with Just Spicoli. You know what I mean? Like, "Peace Out, Dumpers," and then him coming like, "Man, that guy's a dick." You know what I mean? Like, just like dump that right at the end of it.
Where would we be if you would have done that, dude? That was funny.
No, probably in a lawsuit of some kind, maybe.
In a lot. Oh. Let me just before we finish, dude. Casey, I don't know how many times. This might be the third or fourth time Casey has come in.
Donor.
And I'm gonna let you get this one, Rob. But hang on, and Brock's gonna give some input here. For everybody out there, here's where it comes from. At one point in time, we were somewhere. Dex was 2.5 years old, and we were leaving. And I told somebody, "All right, peace out." And he just latched onto it. He's like, "Peace out, peace out." And he would just start saying, "Peace out, lamp. Peace out, bottle." And we were somewhere, and he had a sucker in his mouth, and I think he knew where he was going with this, but he might have been 3 at the time. And we're leaving, and he pulls it out, and he was looking at someone. He goes, "Peace out, sucker." And they looked at him like, "What? What did this kid just say to me?" And he goes, "Peace out, sucker, my sucker." And so a couple weeks later, we were all hanging out at the house, and he was out back playing with his dump trucks, and we had to leave. And there was a group of people, and I'm like, "Dex, we got to roll." And he got up, and he stopped, and he turned around and looked at him. He went, "Peace out, Dumpers." And everybody started laughing, just dying laughing. And I don't know what possessed me in that moment at the end of that video to say, "Peace out, Dumpers." But
yeah, before you started using it in the videos, I remember when we were at some of the enduro races with the yard families, everybody was throwing it around. That's when I first heard it. I think it was
yeah, because they were all there. I think it was when we were moving into this house. Everybody was here, and he said it. And yeah, Lisa Johnson was laughing so hard, dude. She thought it was hilarious. So there you go, everybody. There's peace out dumpers.
The story behind
So,
the dumpers.
Casey, man, I'm going to let Rob give some input here, and then we'll have Brock tell his South Mountain story.
All right. So in regard to the shoe pedal setup, I would say just everybody who's contemplating trying it needs to understand that there's a lot of nuance to the setup. It's not just get some shoes, bolt some cleats, grab some pedals, and jump on and go. You've got tension adjustment on the pedals. You've got depth adjustment on the cleats. There are different types of cleats that will allow you to escape the pedals in different directions. And there's the pedals themselves. I prefer the Shimano XT Trail pedals. And the main reason for that is because I have several bikes that I want pedals in. And it used to be that those pedals were very reasonably priced. You could get them for $55 a set. Nowadays, they're probably $155 a set if you can get them. They've gone up like everything else has. But I like the adjustability. Shimano invented SPD, so they've got it figured out really well. Those pedals are durable, and I've had tremendous luck with them. So the first thing you're going to want to do, in my estimation, is you're going to want to get a set of shoes that are comfortable. I recommend the Giro Chamber 2s. You can walk well in them for hiker bikes. And they have the cleat location is very deep to the center of your foot, which is a good idea in my opinion, because you don't want the cleat too far forward so that if you come down off a drop, your ankle bends very aggressively. You can kind of hurt yourself like that. So you want to consider the position of the cleat so that because that determines where your foot's going to be when you clip in. And once you get all those things worked out, you want to find a good grassy area like a park where you can go and spend several hours, in my opinion, practicing your escape. Set up little obstacle courses that are very difficult to pull off. So you're going to have to quick escape, and do it enough times that you can develop the habit of the heel out move to get your foot out. And it's crazy. We talk to people at clinics all the time, and we have little debates about flats versus clips. And every time somebody expresses their frustration having tried going clipped in and falling down, I asked them, well, how much time did you spend practicing? And they always say none. And so my position is many of us probably have never encountered something that we wanted to do in our lives that we were good at that we didn't practice. So I would say the best bet is practice. And if you don't understand anything about the setup, that nuance is going to come out through your practice. You're going to realize if the tension's too tight, if the clips are in the wrong position, you're going to figure that stuff out.
Now, I just want to get this straight. You're talking about practice, not a game. Practice. Brock, you know where that comes from, right?
It sounds familiar.
It's Allen Iverson, dude. Allen Iverson, press conference, practice. Yeah, Casey, you got to get it.
I've actually met him.
Really?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, it was in
Did he punch you in the
Buckhead, Georgia. No, but we walked into a hotel in Buckhead, Georgia, and Atlanta, and all these Lamborghinis just like stretched out. I'm like, man, they must, must be a team here or something. And we walk in, and it's just like this entourage, I mean, just like it was crazy. And Allen Iverson walks by me, and I'm like, dude, that's Allen Iverson. And I'm like, he like walked under my chin, like that's how small he was compared to me. And then everybody else was just like monsters. Like he was this little kid in this midst of all these gigantic dudes.
That's pretty funny.
Anyways, yeah.
So Brock, when you first came out to South Mountain to shoot some rad stuff and go to the Stone Mountain Bike Festival, you decided to go for a nice little therapeutic ride. Clipped in.
Yeah.
How did that go for you?
No. The story is we were up on top of South Mountain filming, and we took two bikes. Remember, we had I don't know which one. You had a Firebird and I can't remember what
Switchblade. Yeah, Firebird, Switchblade, Trail 429.
And Trail 429.
Basically, yeah, 3 bikes, and I had all my camera gear, right? And then you guys went down, and I had a backpack on, but I just had on flats, like I had just regular shoes on. And I'd never ridden out anywhere gnarly like South Mountain before, right? So I'm just a Bentonville guy. and we're at the top of it. It's on a bike that's way too small for me, except for a guy that weighs 145 pounds, 150 pounds or whatever. And it's got, clipless pedals on it. And I've got
you're running tennis shoes.
tennis shoes. And I've got like an 80-pound pack on my back going down South Mountain. Like, a scorpion could fart on the side of the trail and it knocked me off my pedals. Right. So that was the gnarliest ride I've ever been on in my life. Super.
That's pretty funny. What's the most fun? Yeah. What's the most fun you've ever had shooting any of the videos, be it with just me or with Rob and I?
It's got to be with me. Come on, man.
Hey, don't sway his answer. Don't sway his answer.
Yeah, the Sedona was fun. Sedona was super fun. Just because there was, like I talked about earlier, there was none of that. It was easy to shoot out there. You set your white balance mostly like the sun's up from like, I don't know, like 6 a.m. till 9 o'clock at night those days. Right.
Yeah.
But for like a huge period of time, like everything was pretty no matter where you pointed your camera. You remember the bike video we did with
the Switchblade.
Joey.
Joey and Kyle. Joey Foresta and Kyle Warner.
Yeah, like everything we did, like I didn't have to really worry about the camera, just shot.
Yeah.
And plus it was pretty. Everything was wide open. South Mountain was cool. The one we did with you, the climbing video we did was super fun. We edited the same day, released it that night.
Yeah, that was unbelievable, man. Shot, edited, released in the same day. Like the stuff of legends right there. Yeah,
but I think probably if I had to, gun to head, if I had to pick my favorite video, would probably be the ride series one we did with SRAM out in Johnson City.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Video.
Yeah, I do.
I did enjoy that one.
I just watched that again, dude. We've been going back and forth talking about that. But yeah, dude, that was just
only
because
the beignets, man. It was just all about those beignets.
I go hard on the powdered sugar,
not
bro.
all the beignets.
I know. Like how much powdered sugar can a dude just eat in a day?
I set a PR that weekend.
You did set a PR. Now I know there's a lot of people out there that want to know what it's like behind the scenes working with the Drew brothers. And I think part of it is everybody knows I'm the better looking, more talented riding Drew brother. And they wonder how does Rob deal with that on set? I'm better spoken. I'm a better actor. Like how does he deal with all these things in Europe?
You have better words.
I am a wordsmith.
He knows all the good words.
Yeah. All the best words.
It can get a little tense sometimes. I wish I had Andy. I wish I had Andy Lai sitting next to me. He could back me up on this one. It gets a little heated. It gets heated sometimes. But that's the good kind of heat though, because you guys are quick to anger and then even quicker to get over your shit. You know what I mean?
At this stage, I think we're good at getting to the point. Sometimes it's frustrating, but
yeah. I remember the drop video in Slaughter Pen.
Yeah, you were upset.
Was great. Well, I knew what I wanted. I thought I conveyed that message to Rob, but apparently I didn't, and it gets more and more frustrating.
Yeah,
Cody.
I think hopefully you'll agree that once the message is clear, I deliver.
Oh, totally, dude. Yeah, and I think it's only getting better, in my opinion. And again, it's only an opinion. You and I go back and forth. Like I would like for you, for the live audience here, give them your thoughts on my persona in front of the camera. What's your take on that, Rob?
I'm assuming you want me to say that I feel like you have a shtick.
All I want for you is to say how you feel. You've alluded to that sort of thing in the past. Am I wrong?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Yeah. As someone who's known you all your life, I think sometimes you're not being honest. How's that?
In what regard? Like, what do you mean I'm not being honest?
I think that you play to the camera sometimes. And this is not what people must know about you is you are a thespian. And so that being and you haven't paid your dues in a long time,
Yes.
but you are a Screen Actors Guild member. You are a member of the guild.
I am an actor.
That's right. You are a professional actor.
Yes.
And that being the case, how could you?
If you look close,
how could you not play when the red light comes on? How could you not play to the camera?
Yeah, but I think we look at it different ways. I'm sure I will agree with you that I do that, but I don't think that's outside of the realm of reason of who I am. And
how many people are watching right now? How many people are tuned in?
44.
Okay, so for those 44 people out there, if any of you have not met Rich in person, you're going to be disappointed to find out he's a complete dick.
But dude, the thing about it is,
that's why Brock, they named him that.
Brock can attest to this. Everywhere we've been, where we have run into people who've seen the videos, they all say the same thing, dude. You're the guy in the videos. And I don't know. I see what you're saying.
That's not an inaccurate statement.
And then you right away they say, "Man, that guy's a dick."
Yeah, what a dick that guy is. I don't know why he goes by Richard.
Maybe
he go by Dick.
Maybe so. Maybe so, because I'm not there with them.
Yeah,
that's right.
When they leave,
all I can tell you is I hear the things people say when you're not looking.
Okay, Brock, look at this question from Cody and hold your answer for a second. So how do you get a feel for the wide pan shots versus quicker gimbal shots versus stationary shots? Okay, but then we're going to answer this one really quickly. And I know the answer. I'm going to let you guys.
Affirmative.
That's so not true. Brock, come on, bro.
Sorry, man. I know we got to work together a lot, but it is true.
Full on diva.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brock. I appreciate you having my back on that one.
Like late age Mariah Carey weird.
Absolutely.
Get the hell out of here, dude. That's so far. Okay, come on. Bring some context, Rob.
All right. I'll make it better. I'll make it easier to swallow. Howard Stern diva-ish. Kind of the way that Howard's kind of a diva himself, but you maybe fall into that category more than super weird eccentric Mariah Carey.
So Rob, how justify how I'm a diva? I'm like, I don't get this.
You made it clear to me. You're the star. I'm the supporting act. You put me in my place.
That's truth, dude. That's not being a diva. I'm just speaking truth.
Well, all right.
And it may not be my truth.
It's everything is perspective. From where you sit, of course you don't see it that way. I understand.
Rob, what channel is this going out on? What's it called?
It's going on the Rich Drew Super Channel.
Rich Drew.
Rich Drew's YouTuber, Rich Drew.
You're not an actor. You're not even an actor. I'm an actor.
You're not a real actor.
And I'm ready to shoot the scene.
Yeah. It's hard to do that. It's hard to do that, but without the nasty cuss words.
I know it is, dude. Remember that?
You're not the boss of me. You're not the boss of me.
You're not the boss of me. So what's funny is, and I don't know how or why or when this went away, but not everybody picked up on this, dude. But the first, I don't know how many videos, I put a line from Boogie Nights in every video.
Single one.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened. I don't know where it went. I got to get back to that.
You ran out of lines. You read through the whole movie.
No, dude, I didn't. There were a ton more. Like I literally had a list before we shot. I'd look at them and I'd have a couple floating around, and then I would just find a way to bring them in. And it was great because
Brock never knew when you were going to insert it.
Well, I'm not going to go there.
Easy.
That was a good setup for you.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So it kind of comes back to what Cody's saying here. Like when he was doing shots with the sticks to close it out, it wasn't that big of a deal because he's not holding the camera. But usually when I'd put those lines in, he'd start busting up laughing.
Yeah.
But if he was doing it with a gimbal, it was harder because he'd start laughing and he's trying to just
that big belly roll laugh. And the camera's moving up.
Yeah. Or like, dude, speaking of blooper reels, I'd love for you to have the number of times I say, when you say, "Are you ready?" and I go, "I was born ready, Jack."
Yeah.
Like I can never
lock and load, Jack.
Lock and load, Jack.
Yeah.
So give Cody some insight here, because I think I have an answer, but how do you get a feel for this?
I think it's kind of a team effort between Rich and I. I think we kind of, we said earlier that we really don't have any kind of idea what we're doing when we get out there, but we do what we both know. That, I mean, Rich has ridden the trails 1,000 times more than I have. I've ridden most of the stuff out there, and I kind of know where things are. So we kind of like, this would be cool. This would be cool. And we have a little 5 to 10 minute break before we even go shoot. And what's kind of like the constant struggle is okay, we're going to take sticks and gimbals and do handheld stuff first, or we're going to just walk down the entire trail with sticks, come back up. And I know Rob's laughing because Rob is the guy
that
take
lights and tripods and a dolly
exactly
track.
Right. Yeah. Rob's a minimalist, and he's probably right in this whole thing. Like, the technology is getting way better that you don't need all this crap that I have really to make a great edit. You just don't.
Osmo Pocket. That's it.
Yeah. But that's a conversation for later. But
what about
that's a good question.
The camera question? That's a good segue, right?
Anyways, let me finish that one question from Cody from Cody. So yeah, we kind of stand at the top of the trail and drink coffee and come up with a base plan on like what looks good for sticks, what looks good for gimbals, and wide shots, tight shots, slow motion stuff. Kind of literally breaks down to full speed and slow motion stuff. So 24 frames and 120 frames per second shots.
Well, obviously if it's a shot where the camera needs motion, you've got to do it handheld, right?
Or gimbal,
yeah, gimbal. Yeah. I think
I do some pans and tilts and stuff. I do some stuff on the tripod with that's movement, but I'm really getting. I want to say that it's not laziness, but I'm really kind of getting into the locked off shots where it's just a framed up, composed shot that looks really good. That's just there, and Rich rides in and out of the frame, and you can kind of play with the focus and move focus around. So
I think it's like anything, any team, we're starting to kind of get our rhythm and our groove. And I mean, dude, we might be close to 3 years in to this.
Yeah. 79 videos.
79 videos, dude.
79.
Cody, a lot of videos, man. And I think there's a couple important things. First and foremost, it's real. We're not trying to create something that isn't there. We're not trying to create a facade. We never created a facade that we're trying to hold up. So that makes this much easier. I think we're very clear for the most part with what the objective is. And I think when I do a good job of explaining to him on the front end, and what I'll do is I'll make an outline to kind of get him a feel for what I want. And it's a double-edged sword because I don't want to be too in depth with that, because I rely on Brock's creativity, but at the same time, I need to get him into the realm of what my vision is. And that's something I'm trying to get better about, is that communication. Because I have an idea of what I want the end product to look like. And
I don't see your vision, man. You need to explain it better.
Yeah, I need to see your vision better. But
there's a partnership, and I've been on the trails with Rich and Rob, both of you guys, and it's really cool to see you guys get into like, hey, this would be cool if we did this. This would look good, right? Because I'm like nowhere
until
even
Rich says,
close.
"Shut up, it's my video."
You guys, yeah, you're not an actor.
Yeah,
but no. But what's funny is like you guys are both closer to being a good creator. To be able to, you can run a camera easier than I can ride a bike like you guys can. So it's nice for you to be able to tell me like this would look good.
The fact that we both have some idea of what we want the shot to look like is beneficial, I think.
Yeah, and I'm sure you can attest to that, Brock. Having somebody that understands what you need to do, I think, is critical, because you and I have both shot projects where we brought other people in, and I've had to take some of these people and say to them, hey, this isn't about you. Like you're trying to do things that shed the light on you. It's about the
Yeah,
project.
you're trying to flex your creative muscles with the camera. What I need you to do is capture what I'm doing.
No, again, Rob, that was funny the first couple times.
No, that wasn't a joke. I'm saying, honest to God, there's nothing worse than when you literally risk your life and the guy filming it doesn't get it.
Oh,
And it
yeah, I
looks
see what
dumb.
you're saying. Yeah,
You don't
I see
need
what you're
that
saying.
though. Like I think a lot of these people don't understand.
Well, you can fail to get the shot, even if the action is on the camera. You can fail to get it. It's you got to know how to shoot it to make it look right.
Yeah.
I think Brock does.
Yep. And
Oh,
I think
I
about that.
think he does.
I think about that every single shot. Like I'm like, I think about like, because there's been times where I haven't pulled focus right or had
Oh, dude, Spider Mountain. Oh my God.
dude, I'm never gonna live it down, dude. So stuff like that, but more so like if you're doing something that's a little sketchy, right? And you have to do it again because I screwed up, and
Well,
then
and
on
if
that
when
second
you're
shot,
there,
for
when
some
you're
reason,
there
if
to
you
witness the move, and then it doesn't, you watch the playback and you see it doesn't convey, that's got to be super frustrating. I know for me it is.
well, no, what I mean more so is like if I screw up on my end running the
Gotcha.
camera and he nailed it or you nailed it, right? And then I'm like, hey, you got to do it again. And then you come barreling down and shatter a collarbone because I didn't get a shot the first time. That's stuff you got to think about. It it sucks, but that's part of it. So there's a lot of pressure to get the shot. I mean, especially, I mean, if it's something where, it's not dangerous, but some of the stuff you guys do is gnarly, right? Like going super fast, and,
Yeah,
and
Well,
but
and I was
again,
just going to say, I would leave that stuff up to Rich.
yeah, but dude, I don't generally do stuff that I consider gnarly. And I think that's the beauty of the relationship we've had in these 79 videos. Brock, your barometer for gnarly and mine are very different.
Well, but there's
And
been times, it's not very often, but there has been times, for instance, that triple in Sedona that you and Kyle and Joey all hit, that was kind of gnarly. And I think everybody was a little bit on edge. And like, I had one camera and it was a gimbal, and I think I had like 8% left on my battery. I'm like, oh God, please don't mess this up, because you would never.
Well, when it becomes a dick measuring
I would have
contest
forgiven
like that, there's high chance for.
Well, it's just, I think that's part of this, and that's maybe we're going way too deep in the weeds, but I think not enough people understand it's a job. Like it's a job. You're there to create a finished product, and you need to understand what that finished product is supposed to look like, and you need to reverse engineer to get that finished product. And I think that it takes time, it takes experience, but I think it also takes a mindset that's, I don't want to say unique, but it takes a mindset where you understand that and you don't, it doesn't become a dick measuring contest with yourself. And that, I think too many people get caught up in that. It's like, let me ride as hard and as fast as I can for this video. That doesn't convey. You need to ride well for the shot. And that's not always going fast, because if you go too fast, sometimes it doesn't show what it is. Sometimes you got to strategically.
Hollywood speed.
Yeah. And I think that's part of it. And, we're getting better kind of because we have to, like we're forced to. And now, like, dude, the schedule that we're looking at is just insane. And things are they're growing. That's just how it works.
Well, on what he just said about Hollywood speed, I will concede that you are much better at that. And another person who's really good at it is Alex. Alex knows how to make a still photograph look like action.
Yeah.
Because the camera doesn't always pick up what you think it does, and so you've got to know how to play to it so that it conveys in the final outcome. And I don't have the experience for that.
That's a key thing that's hard to explain to somebody. Like when you and I are shooting, we have that history of riding together Blue Angel style, that it's not that big of a deal. We can do that, but that's not the easiest thing to tell somebody or to do with somebody when you don't know them well. And that's a hard thing for somebody to understand. Like, I can't remember who it was, but a lot of people, like when you try to tell them, follow cam only works if I can see you. So don't try to ride as fast as you can to impress me. First and foremost, dude, you're not going to impress me. I don't care. You just won't be in the shot. And that's something that we've dealt with a lot. And that's part of the trouble with bringing somebody in. Like when you bring somebody else in kind of outside of the circle to do that stuff, sometimes it's more trouble than it's worth because they don't get it. Like they think, oh, somebody's going to see this and I'm going to become a superstar and get like the sponsorship to make all these videos. And it's hard to tell somebody, yeah, that's not going to work. There's not that many people watching these. I'm sorry. People don't get it. Brock, Final Cut Pro or Premiere, Sony or Canon, or maybe another one?
This is an easy question. So Final Cut Pro, never.
Why?
It's always just kind of been goofy to me. The user interface is weird. I've always been Premiere, but I'm moving over to DaVinci Resolve. So I'm going from Premiere to DaVinci. I'll probably always use Premiere at some level. And then Sony's amazing, but I'm switching over to the Red and Red and Canon ecosystem in the process of that.
The ecosystem.
Yeah.
Brock's putting it out there in the ether that he's switching to the Red ecosystem.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Just don't drop it off the crane, baby.
Yeah. Oh man.
Drop it on tight.
Yeah. But I'm probably gonna keep all my Sony stuff because I do a lot of in studio headshots and portrait stuff, and just it's hard, like the supply chain's a nightmare, and like just try to switch completely over. I have all this stuff I can just do that easily with. So yeah, so right now Premiere and Sony is what I'm primarily using.
Nice.
Full time.
Cody's got it, dude. I guess Cody's been there. The fruit trays, fans between shots, yelling about the shots isn't diva at all.
No red M&Ms. Pick out all the red ones.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna love this one, dude.
Yeah.
Casey, I agree with you, dude. Rob does have a great face for radio.
Have a face only a mother could love. That's a fact.
And Diane, you could not be more right. Rob is Rob. And it's funny because almost every time I look down at Rob, I could snap that and that would be a perfect prison mugshot. Every time. Andy, this guy Pedal Andy Pedal has a great question, Brock. I'm sure you guys have not talked about this, Brick.
Yeah, this is horse shit.
Everybody's going to red, buddy. Everybody. All the cool guys.
Yeah. So you lost me a Brick.
Yes, Rob does have a great 1,000-yard stare. Dude, it's becoming a thing.
I know, right? I should get a tattoo at this point.
Oh man, what's this? Okay, hang on. Have you guys ever spent the weekend filming and never see any of the footage?
Oh man.
I don't know if you know what he's talking about here.
I think I do.
Brock. Rob does. This was before your time. Oh man. So the Red, the 8K sensor soon. I don't even know what that means. 220, 221.
Yeah. So One Too Many Hobbies is that's a handle I should have. One Too Many Hobbies. But yeah. I mean, the Raptor, which is the 8K sensor, the Vista Vision, the big dog, all the money in the world. So yeah, soon? Question mark, exclamation point, question mark. Yeah.
So I have a question that popped up here from Jank Jedi 8049. So Rob's interacted with him quite a bit. What type of computer specs are required for entry-level video editing?
Oh man, I feel like Gerald Undone at this point. We should literally have Andy in here. Andy is the Asian Gerald Undone.
I don't even know what's Gerald Undone.
He's a big spec guy for all things video and computers.
Do you know who that is, Rob?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. He's a stud.
I've gone in and watched some videos to find out.
He's a tech reviewer basically for all things.
Well, so I don't even think you need a computer. Like, I'm just going to give my input, dude. I edit a lot of my stuff on my phone.
What do you need me for then?
Nah.
Yeah. So just on that note, I will say I'm I'm talking right now on my $4,500 laptop, and I've not edited a single thing on this computer. So
Yeah.
anything that you've ever seen of mine was done on my phone on
Yeah.
iMovie.
What
Well,
was it?
dude,
What?
Bike
What?
Som is still, he's using iMovie, but he's on an iPad, dude. I don't even have an iPad. Like I use the
Yeah, it's
iPhone,
way
so I got to
easier
get
on the
really
iPad.
small.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Brock?
There's I don't remember his. I'm flattered and offended at the same time. There you go. What
I
was
wish
it?
we could have 4
My
people
question
on. I would have
the
Andy on.
specs.
Yeah.
About the specs.
Yeah,
like
he was
what-
just
how
basically
big of a
saying
computer, probably.
baseline computer specs.
There we go. Yeah.
Is
The Mac M1. Yeah. I mean, it's great. Like, it's a huge, deep conversation about compressed files and codecs that we don't have time for, obviously. But yeah, the Mac M1 will get everything done. I mean, Andy just bought the new the M1 Pro, and he's killing it. So
Yeah.
So the M1 that's the Apple chip one.
yeah, that's their
So right after I
proprietary.
bought mine, that came out, and so I
Yeah.
could have returned it and got the M1, but the person I talked to at Apple said that you couldn't get it in a 16-inch computer.
Not yet. Yeah,
and
it's
so
like May or something.
supposedly all the upgrades I got on mine made it comparable, but so I just ended up keeping it, but I don't know.
Yeah. That's in the books for me to get one, but they're not out yet. Like it's just with everything else, like it's hard to get anything,
Yeah.
let alone video gear, bikes,
Pedals,
computers, any
tires.
doesn't matter. Whatever you're
So-
into. I mean, you might be into racing RC cars, and like
Yeah.
those guys are probably sitting home like complaining about like I can't get my little tiny gas engine to race my
I
RC
can't get my
cars.
shocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
All that stuff. So let me ask you this, Brock, then. Let's talk about, I think,
Let's Get Undone. I love it.
Let's Get Undone. Let's talk
Yeah.
about the YouTube ecosystem.
Mhm.
And since that's kind of the space that we're living in, what are your thoughts on it, kind of as a whole, and as a whole in the bike space, the bike videos that are being made? What do you think about it? What do you think about what we're doing and how we fit in? And where would you like to see it go? Where would you like to see us go?
Man, I wish you would have dropped this question on me to think about before we started.
Dude, you obviously didn't read the notes I sent you, because that
You
was
said-
basically the gist
You
of
do
it.
your homework,
said-
Brock.
You sent notes.
Trying to be a professional here, okay?
Yeah.
I'm professional. I edit on my iPhone and I text
I
you
was
notes.
I was just looking for spontaneity.
Yeah.
That's my jab too, man.
Be
authentic.
spontaneous.
On the cusp.
We've talked about this. We've talked about this a lot, dude. And I joke all the time.
Yeah, I know.
But
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not a
I'm joking.
YouTuber, and I mean,
Even though he is a YouTuber.
whatever, dude. What's your take on it?
I think it was really like this explosive thing that happened, right? There was Seth, there was Single Track Sampler, there were a couple of guys are still doing it. A couple of guys are like coming down a little bit. It got a little diluted, I think, and then kind of got narrowed into different things. Like so, Seth just banded his one channel and like started Burn Peak or something, and it's like was him building stuff at his house, right?
Yeah.
And then the whole POV thing, kind of, which was like Brian Kennedy was doing, is mostly POV stuff, right? Some little bit lifestyle, and then Remy was doing the POV thing, which is super amazing. Makes me sick to watch.
Yeah, that guy's on another level.
Yeah, so it feels like, and maybe I'm wrong because I'm not, I don't watch as much as I should, but a lot of the how-to stuff has kind of slowed way down. The GMBN guys are still killing it. Their stuff's good. They got good content. I mean, can't think of his name now.
Isn't it like Neil or something?
Neil and the other guy, they're both really good. Good on camera.
Yeah, I don't know. The pink bike dude is good too. What's his name? Ben?
Yeah,
Ben Cathro.
Ben Cathro, the big, he's like 6'7".
Yeah,
I mean, he's
huge,
crazy,
huge dude.
Scottish dude. What's his name, man? It's gonna drive me crazy. Blake, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Did a lot of how-tos. Did a lot of like simple stuff, like in we've had this conversation with YouTube stuff. Like, it's really the guys like the lower end writers like me that are trying to figure out how to do stuff. We're the ones getting on there and searching. Nobody's gonna get on there and like how to do a backflip on a mountain bike. Nobody searches that, right?
Yeah.
It's like clipless or flats,
Yeah.
or how to jump a mountain bike. You know what I mean? How to manual. It's very that smaller stuff.
So then let me ask you straight up, dude. Are you happy with where we're at? And I say we, dude, because I mean, essentially the we in this is you and I, and then Andy to a pretty decent extent. But in the early days of like 2020, it was, subscribers, subscribers, subscribers. You have to have all these subscribers. And we've never really communicated this a ton, but somewhere along the way, I just really stopped caring. And that's part of why I come back to, I just don't classify myself as a YouTuber, I guess, in the traditional sense. But like, Bike Psalm says, you guys are already there. Just stay persistent and keep it fun and as honest as we can. That's all we're going to do, because that's the goal. Like there's no, I don't know.
I think that's magic recipe with YouTube is a lot of content that's good, a lot of good content, and on a regular basis, and you'll keep a fan base. You know what I mean? Like if Marvel turns out just the worst movie ever of all times, and it's just crap, they're going to lose a lot of audience, because they've been spitting out really good movies for a long time.
Yeah.
Well, another thing I think is interesting also, though, is even in spite of how much you guys have done, how many videos you guys have done, I think about how many events I've been to and there isn't a video, like how much you're doing otherwise. A lot of the guys you're talking about, successful YouTubers, that's their full-time gig and that's all they're doing. But with you, Rich, there's a whole lot of other things happening that are behind the scenes that nobody's seeing, because they're not being filmed. They're events that are being produced and executed, and people are pumped. And I mean, the Johnson City video does a great job of capturing the stoke level of those events that we go to every time. Just think of how many times we've gone to the coffee house afterwards and just,
oh my God,
been stoked
it's unbelievable
on a recap of an amazing weekend.
And this Nicole Wagner lady right here, let me tell you something, Nicole Wagner. I'm going to disagree with you, because it is definitely a job. It's a job I think he and I take seriously, but God damn it, we have fun. We have a lot of fun, and I'm trying to remember what I'm supposed to say.
Well, Nicole's got a great
it don't
point.
Make no difference to Jesus.
Nicole's got a great point, and that's one thing that I've always been apprehensive about is the bike for me is my escape, and I don't ever want to have a day where I wake up and I'm frustrated that I've got to go ride the bike.
Yeah.
I don't think there's ever been a time where we went out and shot something, and it's usually, I mean, it's a lot of hard work, dude. You know this. I mean, it's to the point of where, like, man, if this wasn't so much fun, this would be miserable.
Oh yeah. Like, I can't, there's no way to express that to people. Like, I think especially some of these younger people who are trying to do this, they just don't get it. Like, I mean, dude, you saw, like, I love Caleb, but dude, Caleb was worked when we shot that video in Windrock. Like, dude, he was over it. He just wanted to be done, and Rob was getting close to it. It's not easy.
I think
that's what I told you at the beginning of the Windrock thing. I told you, dude, I want to ride my bike, bro. I'm out of here. That's why I'm not in much of it.
Yeah, but see, that's part of it is the initiative is to capture what we're doing. And part of it is you got to do some of that work. And I think, Nicole, that's where, if you can balance that, and that's, I think, what we're getting better at now, Rob. I think you and I are getting better at it. I think you have a better understanding of, I want to ride my bike 100% of the time, but I understand I can't. We need to do these things, and we need to find a way to balance getting these assets done, getting these deliverables shot, so we have enough. And it's like Windrock was a prime example, dude. The toughest thing Andy had to deal with was he didn't have enough footage. He didn't have enough riding footage.
That's a horrible place to be in.
Well, and I would just say, when you go to a place like that, the first thing to do when you get there isn't to try to start shooting, because you don't even know where the places to shoot are.
Yeah, but that's part of what we're trying to showcase. Like, that's where that gets challenging, that lifestyle piece or whatever you'd call it. That's what we're trying to show. And that comes back to, like Sam said, keeping it real. And it's, I mean, dude, it's a challenge. Like, I don't know what that ends up being. Like what he said is fundamentals is cool for a good majority of viewers, but a few of us upper tier writers are interested in the fine tuning.
That's tier, T-I-E-R. Sorry about that, Mike. Tom, I gotta bust you on that one.
But that's a prime example of, okay, so do we let that, in a sense, dictate what we're making? And thankfully, we don't have to do that. And so you kind of alluded to it, Rob, and it's not something that I'm really at liberty to go into too deep of depth on, nor do I want to. We have a lot going on. And a lot of it isn't what you see necessarily on YouTube, or I guess another way to frame it is, we're not doing what we're doing to make money from YouTube. And that's something that I don't think.
Yeah, YouTube's not the revenue generator.
YouTube's not the revenue generator, and I don't think that's the model for the majority of YouTube people. And so, for one reason or another, they're not in a position where, I mean, dude, to be straight up, for not even 50,000 viewers, I've been able to leverage it really well. And I think that says something.
You've leveraged it much better than you've monetized it. That's, I think, pretty certain.
Yeah, but trust me, dude, we were going over the books. It's been monetized well, just not directly from YouTube. Now, I'm not saying,
my point is, it's YouTube is not sending you a giant check every month,
because that's not my focus, and
not yet.
Brock's like, please make it your focus.
No, we're
okay. We're okay. We don't need it. It would be good if it did, but I think they're making it harder and harder. And again, what it comes back to is, that's time that I don't feel I have to spend on figuring those things out. Like, I've talked to a few people that are dialed in, and they talk about the time they put in to curating these videos and doing things, and I don't have that time. So it's interesting. What would you love to be able to do? Well, it's getting there. Like this year, I think we're getting close, and I think it is a full-time job to do all that stuff. But
no, I'm referring to the guys that are making $1 million a year. That guys that have 5 million subscribers or more.
Oh yeah,
I mean it's constant. It's a constant 60 hours a week job for those guys.
Well, the other thing too that's different is, I don't know how many people have a setup like this. Like, dude, to the best of my knowledge, a lot of people, unless you're upper tier, they're shooting their own stuff and editing their own stuff.
TEAR tier.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing that's funny, and I'm sure it's not just about the mountain bike space, but the guys I think who are the most successful financially on YouTube aren't great writers, but they're proficient with filming the stuff, editing the stuff, and getting it on there. And that's the reason why they can generate some revenue with it.
You're 100% correct.
Yeah. And again, it's one of those things where,
I come from the marketing world, and it's not just YouTube. I mean, good consistent content that has quality is going to get you good results no matter what you're doing, especially on YouTube.
Well, that's a great thing, Brock. I'm so glad you said that. Great results. How do you quantify great results? Because Rob and I have had this conversation. Like, he has, I think, a blueprint or a barometer for what makes a successful YouTuber. And I asked him, what is that?
No, well, what is when we've had that discussion, the point that I was making was, when Rich was first getting involved with doing stuff on YouTube, I went on the computer and I looked up the most successful YouTubers, and I tried to watch some of the stuff they're producing, and I just couldn't even do it. And so these are the people that are making millions of dollars producing content on YouTube, and it's stuff that I couldn't bear to even watch it. And so in the context that I was saying success on YouTube, it was financial. the people making a lot of money and what they're doing to make that money. And that makes me think, okay, if these guys are the most successful, this is the stuff that people out there want to see. This is how you get eyeballs.
That's the beauty.
I just don't love it.
Okay, so that's the beauty of what we're doing, I think, and how we're doing it. I've never done that. I'm never going to do that. I'm doing what we're doing, and I'm doing it because it works, and we've been able to do it. And so there's no reason to stop doing that, because I feel we're plenty successful, and we could certainly be more successful in the eyes of a lot of people. But what's the goal? Like Sam says, you guys definitely have the bike industry's attention. Every time you hop on a bike, people are going to listen to your thoughts and feelings from each new ride. And I think that was by design. That was initially my big motivation, I think, for doing this. Was I didn't feel, when I looked out there, that there was anybody that could garner the industry's attention by riding at a high level and conveying thoughts. There was people there was one person in particular that kept being brought up to me by Pivot, and I watched a couple of videos, and I'm like, I don't understand here. Like, I don't get it. And that was part of why we did this. But at the same time, that can be a dangerous thing. Like, you have to understand that.
Well, I can speak to this a little bit, just from being around both of you guys for a long time. You guys have said this. There's a lot of guys out there, or a lot of people that can ride the bike much better than you, right?
Yeah.
But there's not. Yeah. But you guys are very, very good at conveying that into a video format where people can see it. Like, you're very well spoken. You can talk intelligently about like how to get that, what you want to say out into into the world. And a lot of guys can't do that. They can outride you, sure, but they can't talk well.
It's crazy how much more rare that is than people being good on the bike. Way more people good on the bike than people who can speak intelligently about what they're talking about.
Well, and that's why it's such a blood. It's so good to shoot you guys, and it's so fun for me to be able to get you guys to shoot you doing what you're really good at, right? And then to put you on film and have you talk about that and be like one takers. I'm like, yeah, it was amazing. It's amazing. Like, it makes my job fun and worth it.
Yeah, and I think that's the point, like, I like hearing Nicole, by the way, Brock's wife.
Yeah, that's it.
Brick. Dude, that's her. Like, she's, your wife's amazing, dude, on many levels. But I'm happy that you are happier, and that's part of the goal with this. Is we've put in a lot of work, dude, but like you put in a lot of hours, and I really feel like this year is going to pay back. I feel like I'm in a kung fu movie. Oh yeah, I know I came back now. My audio is matching up. I think that this year, what we have lined out, we're gonna. I think this is a year that we can finally. I don't want to say rest on our laurels. That's just totally not the way. But we can find some solace in that work is starting to pay off.
Yeah.
And
well, you kind of are in cruise control. You can sort of roll with the momentum.
Yeah. Pick and choose projects.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's a great thing to be able to do. And that was what I was happy with, especially with the companies that we're working with. Yeah. Casey asked, let me just pull this one up. Rich, did you have the same conversation with Brian? Curious on his thoughts. I'm wondering
Wasn't it Brian who told you you're terrible at YouTube?
Yeah. So Casey, chime back in and tell me, do you mean Brian Kennedy? Because I talked to him a little bit about it, and I have a funny story about him. Andy and I made a review on the Trance, I think in 2017. And I didn't know anything. I mean, I had a YouTube. I made a review. I didn't really know what I was doing. I put it up. Anyways, I get a message from this dude, BKXC. I didn't know who he was. And he said, hey, man, I've never done this, but your stuff's really good. And you can ride well. You can speak well. And he's like, a lot of us can't ride well, dude. And he basically said, you're bad at YouTube, though. Like, you're just horrible. And you need to do this. And it was funny because when he finally came back here recently. He's like, yeah, dude, it's cool that you're growing, but yeah, you're still horrible at YouTube. Like the behind the scenes stuff, the managing it, it wasn't, I don't know. It just, there's a lot to it. And I have a lot of respect for Brian because he's really fine tuned his niche. And
I think he's an example of a guy who puts a lot of work into it.
Yeah. Oh, he does. He does. I mean, that's everything he does. He's a student of the game, so much so that he sticks to what he knows and he sticks to what he does. I think a lot of people have been wooed off into other realms to do other things potentially that are hot right now, and he doesn't buy into it. He does his thing, and I think that's pretty cool. And I like him. I think he's a good dude. We had fun when we rode, and I'm not saying that they're not all good dudes. I don't know a lot of those people. And again, Rob, I don't know how many times we've talked about this.
Spike Som's a good dude. I can tell you that.
And you've said that. I just like, it's hard for me sometimes to watch some of this stuff. Like, dude, you sent a lot of the Colorado kid. Is that his Colorado kid?
Yeah, Colorado kid.
Colorado kid. Like, I don't know if you've seen him, Brock.
I haven't seen this one yet. No, that's that one.
I can't speak to his writing. I haven't seen, but he's doing some very creative stuff with his subject matter, and it's pretty funny. Like even my wife, who's a very, very tough critic.
I need to write it down. What is it? Who is it?
Colorado kid.
He does. I see reels pop up all the time, dude. And I'll send you on.
I'll send me a text.
The one where he's like playing the banjo with his.
Yeah. You had me a banjo, dude.
Well, he'll be like plucking the chain of the bike, and he puts music over it and stuff, and then he'll like be hitting stuff on the bike. You gotta see it. It's pretty creative how he does it.
Yeah.
And then he'll do the ones where he'll play like two different characters. Like there's a shot of him saying something, and then another shot of him talking as the other party he's talking to.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Thanks, Cody. I appreciate that, dude. Cody with the $4.99 super chatter.
Yeah.
Boom.
I will buy the dump truck lover a bagel, dude. He'll love that.
He'll crush
it. He'll lose his mind.
Maybe he'll crush a cinnamon roll too.
Look at that, dude. The bike something says, "Thanks, Rob. You're awesome." Feel like an extended big brother.
I'm happy I had a chance to spend some time with you, buddy, and I look forward to. Hopefully, you're coming back out to Sedona again. I look forward to connecting with you out here.
Dude, is that not a great explanation?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm so excited to check this dude out. I'm not.
Yeah, like I could never do that. I could never do what he's doing. It's super sticky, but I just think he's onto something, and I bet his numbers reflect it. He's got
something for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the Dustin Klein of the gravel scene sounds like.
What did he just say?
Dustin Klein of the gravel scene.
Calvin Klein?
Dustin Klein, sorry.
Who's Dustin Klein?
He's just a gravel dude. He's a big YouTube personality for the whole gravel scene. Hipster guy.
Wrong format, bro.
I know. If I had one chance to go back in time and fix one
it
thing,
would be that.
That's it. I wouldn't go back and bet on Mike Tyson getting knocked out by Buster Douglas in the 10th round, 85. I'd fix that.
Nah, how dare you mispronounce Gravel? I'll let it slide this time.
I know, right?
That's funny. Well, guys, I think this has been good, man. I've enjoyed.
I always enjoy spending time with Brock, even if it's just on the screen here.
I know.
Yeah.
I got to get more. I got to go out west, man. Like me and Nicole are planning a trip. We're planning a trip. We're doing a loop. We're gonna take bikes and rent a camper and just go the whole thing. And the first stop, well, not first stop, but it'll be.
Please plan to stop in. Yeah, please plan to stop in here and spend some time with us.
Well, we're gonna get Rob here, thankfully, in March. So we'll be shooting some stuff in March here that we're hoping to turn pretty quickly. So this is the second time MTB Sessions has asked, where can we look up your content, Brick?
Well, Brick is a fictional character that doesn't exist. Oh man, this is gonna stick, dude. I hope you're happy.
It's gonna stick. It's gonna
Yeah.
stick, dude.
And I hate it. I hate it.
Is that, you take that from Anchorman?
No, dude. Every
it's
time
just-
I try to type Brock in my phone,
it goes
says
brick.
Hey,
Nice.
I got a quick ending story here. Like, this is not as bad as my my first engineering job. I started out in my first job that I put out to go on the floor for everybody to like work on. Right? It's like went to like 20 different stations. Like, you have to sign your name on it, and I spelled my name wrong on the very first one, and I spelled it Bork. BORCK.
Bork.
So yeah,
Bork
so
from Bork.
for like a year, it's like, hey, Bork. You know what I mean? It's the worst. I guess it could be worse.
Oh, I imagine
Brick
backing
Wagner
away,
Creative.
backing away from the mic because I can't stop laughing.
Yeah. Bork. Yeah. Hey, Bork. Yeah.
Long live Bork.
Yeah. Long live Brick.
Oh God.
Oh, man. Of course, Andy's gonna jump on it.
So I think the best thing.
Well, hey, where can people see his stuff?
That's what I'm saying. Follow him, Brick Wagner Creative on Instagram.
Good luck. Good luck. Yeah, you probably won't find anything if you go searching for Brick Wagner. That sounds like a total porno name.
So where
Brock
Wagner
Creative.
Yeah.
Dude, it doesn't
Landers.
stop, dude. It doesn't
Bork
stop.
and Mindy. Yeah.
Nanu.
Yeah, I love it.
Oh, dude. 90 minutes in delirium comes to the stage. What is the best Instagram? Because, dude, people need to know.
Yeah.
Brock is a super talented artist.
Brock Wagner art.
Dude, is it Brock? Because
Brock's
oil
Wagner
paintings
art, and then there's so that's the oil painting stuff, and then there's Brock Wagner creative
poetry.
Brock Wagner nude art.
Yeah,
haikus by Brock Wagner.
Brock Wagner tasteful nudes.
The best haiku ever. Yeah.
You were also a musician, like pretty legit. Traveled around.
Yeah, it was a legit. That's a hard life. That's a super hard life. But back to haikus. Haikus aren't easy. Sometimes they don't make sense. Refrigerator.
Wow, dude, talk about sending it out with a bang. Well, Brock, right? I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah,
I've been very excited about this because this is something, and for everybody out there, at one point, Brock's like, dude, what am I going to talk about? Like, it was right after Blodgett was on. He's like, I don't know any of that stuff. I said, dude, you don't need to know any of that stuff. People don't care about that. I said, I think there's people out there that want to hear, how did this come up? Like, literally, these people are on week after week, and a lot of it is because of you. So I know I've expressed it privately, but I want to express it to the world. I want to shout it from the rooftops. I very, very much appreciate all of the hard work.
Brock.
I love you, man. I really appreciate everything that you have done, and it really resonated today because today was just rad. Like, it was a really cool day for me. I've never been part of any sort of bike launch, and to like play that role, dude. I mean, I watched those videos and I was just like, damn, that's really, really cool, and it meant a lot to me. And dude, there's no way it was happening without you. And I appreciate it, dude. Like, there's a lot, I've put a lot into this. I've leveraged a lot to try to make all of this stuff work, to support my family and build something for the future out of this. And not a chance in hell it's happening without you being there. So I appreciate it. And I hope everybody understands and appreciates it, especially some of those assholes that ask for more slow motion and more graphics.
Well,
hey, Brock, back when Rich and I worked together, there was a funny saying that I was the magic and Rich was the magician.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you?
Totally.
Yeah. So totally. I can say that at this juncture in time, you have taken the mantle of the magic. Rich is still the magician, He's still the guy going.
Naughty,
thing
naughty candy.
But the actual thing that's happening is you.
Perfect.
Did you get that, Rob? I just
Well,
dropped
so-
that. Naughty, naughty candy.
Oh, shit.
Nobody's gonna know that one, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
That's Blades of Glory, isn't it?
No,
No,
No way.
that's
It's
that's
Boogie Nights, dude.
Boogie
Reed,
Nights, man.
Yeah.
Reed
Naughty,
Rothschild
naughty,
when
the
he's
very
the,
end,
when he's
when
the,
they-
Yeah.
when he's the magician.
Yeah.
at the end when they're
Yeah.
all like figuring out what they're gonna do with their lives.
The rest of their lives.
Naughty,
yeah.
naughty candy.
Yeah. What are we gonna do?
No, I appreciate that.
Um,
That's like a passing of the torch, man.
That's right.
Passing of the torch. It is. All right. Well, Rob, do you have anything to add?
I think I just added it.
You did, dude. You added
Wow.
a lot. What's next on the horizon?
Rob,
Man,
Rob, I think you need to have like a kind of what you guys are both Howard Stern fans. You need to have that exit thing that he says, like, you've said it all,
yeah, you've said
done
it
it
all.
all.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
nothing left to say.
I love that, dude. He said it's just great. Hey now.
Yeah.
No,
Hey,
Rob
hey
needs
now.
to start being Fred and putting the drops in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey boner.
he's got a mixer the whole time,
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
hitting buttons.
Hey
it's
now.
all George Takei stuff.
Hey
on
now.
the
Yeah.
side. Hey now. Hey,
Guacamole.
brother.
Guacamole.
Hello.
Tsunami.
Yeah.
You've
Brad.
you've done it all. You've said it all.
You've done it all.
You've done it all.
Yeah. Oh, dude. I just look at this one, dude. You hit it, dude.
Big,
you hit it
bright,
there,
shining
Jake.
star.
Jedi.
Yeah,
Big bright shining
you know,
star.
if you want to go out with a bang on this whole podcast, man, you can just
Oh.
stand up right now and whop it out.
Just
Nah, dude,
End game.
that won't go well.
All done.
Everybody's gonna be like, "What's
yeah,
good?"
I'm a
Yeah.
grower, not a shower,
is that?
bro.
What is
And Baba Booey to you all.
Fafafui?
Fa-fa-fo-ha.
Flow, he.
Oh man, I can't believe it.
Nicole,
Dude.
Baba Booey.
Baba Booey, we're losing people at a rapid rate.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
Thank you again, Brock. Thank you, Rob.
Yeah, man. It was good.
Excited.
Had fun.
Yeah, all the stuff coming up first week of February. Ride Series MTV Skills Clinics heading down to Houston and then making our way out to Phoenix for the warmer climates. Then we'll be in San Diego and then join us at the, I don't even know what annual, Sedona Mountain Bike Festival.
The second,
First
the biannual.
Yeah, first weekend in March. We will be there. The Ride Series crew, Mama Bear is going to be in the house. Jen Drew is going to be there. And we'll be doing some rides for Fezzari.
Yes.
Nicole and I might make our way out there just for fun.
Yeah,
I love it, dude. I love it. We got a sweet pad. So if you want to make that happen, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure we have room. So, all right, cool. Well, everybody have a good night. Enjoy the remainder of that drink. And what do you have to say, Rob? How do you end it?
Over and out.
Over and out. And peace out, dumpers.
And over and out.
Peace
Fuck you, San Diego.
out.